So now let's move on to our next session on the theme of business strategies and global expansion in the age of AI agents. Let's welcome our panelists onto the stage. Mr. Chih-Han Yu, a peer group chief executive officer and co-founder. Ms. Dian Guan, PatSnap co-founder and APAC general manager. Mr. Jason Zhao, Kleiner Perkins China partner.
Sorry? Oh yeah, mine.
And the session is moderated by Mr. Tarun Sharma, Nokia Ventures partner and COO.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining. So now, Mr. Sharma, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here. Thanks for taking the time, everybody, and especially my panelists. The topic here is business strategies, global expansion, international business in the age of AI agents. There cannot be more buzzwords fit into a title than these three combined. So we'll be talking about global business. We'll be talking about AI agents, how they're being used for international expansion, and also, investor view with Jason. So I have, privilege to have the panel with me. I have Chih-Han, Dian, and Jason. And if I can please ask the panelists to briefly introduce yourself and what your company does. Maybe you want to start first?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much for your introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Chih-Han. I'm CEO and co-founder of Appier. Appier is a company that focuses on AI for marketing field. And so that means that we try to be the left and also right branch of a marketer and use the tool and full suite of products to help marketers make better decisions or generate even more better creative. So we were founded back in 2012. Probably one of the first AI company in marketing in Asia. So, and now we have scaled to more than 17 countries with more than 800 employees, and also project to do more than 300 million ARR US dollar this year. And we are also listed in Tokyo Stock Exchange Prime Market. So from seeing the journey of AI is super exciting for us because we get to the chance to help our customers to use AI to optimize their marketing spending to drive better ROI, and turn AI into ROI is our mission. And myself, actually, is particularly excited about the topic we are talking about today because I did a PhD in AI with a particular focus on agent, or more specifically multi-agent systems.
Yeah.
So I did and we actually have applied agent and multi-agent system in our company across more than last 10 to 12 years. So glad to meet everyone here, and so also thank you for the opportunity.
Fantastic. I'm not sure if it's clear or if you want to make the mic little up.
A bit higher? Yeah, sure.
I do feel if
It's
I look
soft.
here, it's not audible.
Okay.
But, so maybe, that's probably better.
All right.
Dian, how about you? Maybe a brief introduction and a background. What does your company do?
Sure, thanks, Tarun. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, much
Okay,
better.
perfect. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Dian. I'm the co-founder of PatSnap. So PatSnap was founded in Singapore in 2007 when we were still undergrad students at the National University of Singapore. We actually had a 1-year internship experience in Silicon Valley, and we were so inspired by the entrepreneurial spirit. So we simply wanted to do something to create a business, and hopefully one day through our effort, we can make a difference to the world. That was the very naive thinking back then. So PatSnap is now, fast forward to today, PatSnap is the global leader in innovation intelligence. What we do is we aggregate data, resources that is used by research and development professionals and intellectual property professionals on a daily basis. such as global patent documents, scientific journals and papers, technology news, anything that they will read, they'll sift through in order to make better decisions. So we aggregate those data, we use AI to curate those data, and also provide a layer of analytics. So the mission is to give customers easy, smart access to the information they need so they can make better decisions. So globally, we work with about 15,000 companies. Many of them are very, very cool companies that are really pushing the forefront of the human innovation. So we're very excited to support companies like Tesla, 3M, or even NASA. So that's what we do. I'm very glad to be here today.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And 15,000, customers obviously, relying on your intelligence and knowledge and patent. It's fabulous. How about you, Jason? I mean, you provide the much needed capital to make all of this possible. Brief introduction about you and the background. What does your company do for those who might not know?
Sure. So, hi everyone. My name is Jason. I'm a partner at Kleiner Perkins. We're a very early stage venture capital firm based out of Silicon Valley. We have offices in Silicon Valley. We also have offices in Asia. And we've been investing early stage for almost 50 years. And through that time, had the privilege of working with many, many great founders like the ones on stage, including Google, Amazon, Alibaba. And very, very excited to be here today. I mean, AI has changed the world in many ways. It's certainly very exciting for our industry. And excited to see all the things that are happening in Japan. It's a thriving startup ecosystem.
Fantastic. I'll also just give a very quick introduction about myself. I'm a partner and CEO at Nokia Ventures. Before that, I had the privilege of working with Microsoft, IBM, angel investor, board member. This is my first time in Sushi Tech, but I'm already impressed. I can tell you it's not going to be the last time. So, glad to be here. Before we dig deeper into the AI, maybe if we can just take a moment to talk about global business, how important and critical global business is, or international expansion coming from either Singapore or Japan or Shanghai. Have you always thought of your business from get-go to be global business, or was it the necessity of your business to think global?
Yeah. Shall I start?
Whichever of the two of you.
Maybe you can. Maybe I can start. So yes, actually, our company was found with a very small team back in Taipei, and as you know, that Taiwan is not a super big market, and so from day one, back in 2012, our idea is like AI application and technology can potentially scale globally, and there's really no border or limitation of countries. And naively, we actually, back in 2013 and 14, we already have established our first office in Tokyo, overseas office, and also another one in Singapore. And with one of our early investors, Inland, also on the stage. And then backed by Sequoia Capital back in 2014, then we start global expansion across Asia. Now, if you look at our overall revenue composition, more than roughly 90% is actually outside of what we so-called a headquarter. And so going to global is super important, but also heavily rely on the talent that have the experience to run the global operations. As most of the software company actually coming from US or Europe and scale globally, so traditionally Asia is actually lack of a software talent or leaders that can oversee or streamline the operation that can scale globally. So this has actually imposed a lot of challenges, but also opportunity to train those really super motivated talents, have the chance to based on your local market, but start doing the global role. And with that strong motivation and also the infrastructure training, and nowadays we also use a lot of AI in our training, and to actually enable them to be able to be on a global stage. And that actually opened up a lot of talent pool in Asia who want to be a global leader in software business, but they don't want to go to US and Europe.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of such talents in our company. And with this motivation, then we start scale globally. Now we also have a very major operation in US and Europe. And that's the other side of influx of talent that we help. Like today, we are very excited to launch our one of a company that we acquired recently, a Paris-based ad creative platform called AdCreative.ai. And we have used the agent technology localized into Asian language and launched this afternoon in Tokyo. And we also brought a lot of French talents to come to Tokyo to do business for the first time. And that's also totally eye-opening for them. So I think if you look back at my entrepreneurship journey, one of the best things is be able to scale business globally. Also for myself to learn each market and also have a talent from each market to learn from each other and really build a community that is truly borderless.
Yeah. You've been a co-founder for PatSnap. Have you always been global right from the get-go, or was that thought evolved as you succeeded in your domestic market?
Yeah, it's a very good question, Tarun. For us, it's not an option. It's not good to have. Starting in Singapore, you know how small the market is. We had to think about globalization from day one.
Yeah.
So for a very long period of time, we always joke that we're the smallest company in the industry that was global. So that brings a lot of challenges managing a global business. And you didn't have the economy of scale, so to speak, at the early stage. So that was tough. But for us, in terms of the target market, it's quite straightforward because we serve the research and development crowd. So we just follow where the R&D money is. Globally, number one is US, number two is China, followed by Japan, Germany, UK, etc. But to go into each of this market, we chose very different timing and very different approach.
Yeah.
Sometimes intentionally, sometimes by serendipity.
Yeah.
So for example, the first two markets we chose to tackle was US and China. Very different. So US back then, at least, even before COVID days, they're very receptive to inside sales. You can call them remotely, right? As long as the product is great, they will give you a chance. For $10,000 US to buy one ID of PatSnap, it's okay. They can give it a try. But for China, it's very different. You need heavy operation there. You need to have a face-to-face meeting with people. Similarly as here, I think most of East Asia,
Sure.
you need a much bigger local presence. So we chose very different approach to tackle different market. And when it comes to Japan, we dare not to make a move for a very long time because first of all, we require all the East Asian requirements of heavy local operation. Localized language, the product, registered local entity and local partners, all of this costs a lot of money. Secondly, we know Japanese customers are notoriously very demanding for high quality products. So we didn't come to Japan until 2019 when we had our first very entrepreneurial Japanese employee join us to champion the first GTM to Japan. So a lot of lessons learned, a lot of mistakes there, but I don't think we have enough time to cover everything.
Yeah.
But that's a nutshell our international journey.
Thanks a lot. And I do want to come to how AI and AI agents are helping globalization now versus what it might have been 15 years ago.
Yes.
If we wanted to enter the market, localization, translation. But very briefly, Jason, do you think it's almost essential now? I mean, as VCs, we obviously evaluate business and the maturity and growth and all. Do you think it's almost given that we invest in global businesses nowadays? How do you see it, Kleiner? Or you want to go for regional players and local leaders? What's the thinking there?
Well, I think that, so for our business, right, we invest in people. We want to look for the smartest founders, the most driven founders. And talent, I think, in the age of AI is very geography agnostic, right? You have great companies, great models coming out of Europe, out of China, out of Asia, and certainly a lot in the US. And for founders also, in many ways, the playing field has been sort of reset because AI in a lot of ways is still fairly new, right? A lot of the larger incumbent players, they don't have, they have an AI strategy, but everyone is still learning. Everybody is still growing. So this is a great opportunity for new founders to come in and be able to create something new, a new platform. Now, in the age of AI also, in terms of global expansion, AI agents in particular, it's very, very telling and very obvious in terms of the efficacy, right? And how one AI agent performs better than another. And it's not always either one, this or other. Many of the companies that we see today, right, they use an aggregation of different models, aggregation of different agents for different tasks, right, multi-agent, we're moving into agentic AI, right? So this is our opportunity where globally it's easier to market yourself because it's very much results first, right, and tech first. And also, it's not each company chooses one solution, right? There will be opportunity for many winners and a company to engage with many vendors.
Yeah. No, that's right. I'm just out of curiosity. What's your guess? Out of all the startups and companies present here, the ones which are Japanese, how many would want to go outside Japan? What would be your bet? I mean, it's a guess, right? Is it low 50s, high 50s, 70s, 100%? Does everybody want to go international? What would your guess be?
For someone who already operates in Japan for, I think, 10 years or more, I think who want to go outside Japan, definitely slightly above 50%, but who actually have done it or plan to do it, probably 10 to 20%.
10 to 20%?
Yes, but that's probably what my sample size actually across the last 5 years. And I think newer generation of company definitely is a bit more global, and they are actually have a more exposure to the different market. A lot of times when the early founders decide to go to certain market, it's really deeply influenced by their prior backgrounds and also their overseas experiences. And given that the populations of Japanese young folks have studied or exchanged in other different countries has increased in terms of percentage, I do definitely think that the early startup going global has increased. And in Japan, I think because we are also listed in Japan software stock here, the exposure of international business is relatively low. So most of the companies still focus on Japanese market. So Appier is so probably the one have the biggest attempt in terms of global expansion and also have probably the highest portion of the global revenue that in terms of Japanese AI or SaaS software service stock. So, but I think Japanese talent entrepreneur definitely have the quality to go global because the way how Japanese people run operation is actually the world-class and standard. I influence deeply from the manufacturing and also electronics industry. And this kind of a way of running the operation is very, is a great, with great infrastructure and go global. But it's lacking the talents that can speak a language and be able to be the interface. An AI agent, as you just mentioned, is going to be able to overcome, instead of using humans to overcome such, you can use AI agent as interface with your global employees.
Yes.
Imagining that founders from Japan who cannot speak English and use the AI agent on behalf to help him communicate across different offices. And not even in English, in local language.
In language, yeah.
Yeah, well, then that is actually then such barrier then get overcome.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, Toyota obviously taught the whole world in terms of manufacturing and, all the best principles. We'll come to the AI agent right now. I think let's pivot it from international expansion, given many companies want to do and they are capable to do, and now AI and AI agents definitely can help. But just for those in the audience who might not know, what is an AI agent? One line definition. What is it and what is not an AI agent? Who wants to go?
Sorry.
Oh, you have done PhD in AI agent.
So let me give very sorry for occupied bandwidth, but because I have a PhD, my PhD in multi.
But not in the PhD language, in a simple language.
Of course, even PhD have a simple language as well.
Okay.
So agent is an intelligent machine can perceive and think and also act. In Japanese term, is a machine that can do PDCA. So basically, you think that in Japan, or can be software, can be hardware, anything you can perceive, think or plan, and then act,
right.
And then feedback and do it again. So
right.
that's a definition of agents. It doesn't necessarily to be AI based. It can be rule based. Like agent field has exists for 50 years, and my PhD was multi-agent collaboration, and that field is already have thousands, probably 1,000 to 2,000
sure.
of participants in the conference back then. So it's actually a very mature field.
Yeah. Do you see any difference between AI assistant and AI agent?
Assistant is someone that makes suggestion, right? Agent actually make a decision and do it for you. So that's the difference. If you are really trust your assistant, eventually you become agent.
Yes.
So that's the difference.
Yeah. So I read about this definition somewhere. Assistant is like a smart intern. They will answer when you ask them something. But an agent is like a junior employee or a mid employee who can make the autonomous decision
That's right.
Yep.
on your behalf.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, just as a show of hand, how many in the audience here are using AI agent in your business, in your company? Few, maybe 10%, 15% or so? Yeah, that's not bad. That's good. I mean, Gartner predicts by 2026, over 50% of knowledge workers will be using AI agents daily, right? I don't know if you have any, like in the new investments you are evaluating, are you coming across any company which is not using an AI agent these days?
Well, I think AI agent penetration is quite high, depending on the geographic. Especially in the US, I think it's within the technology field, the massive majority of companies have been deploying AI agents. And actually, the definition of AI agents, I think, has evolved over time, right? The first generation of AI agents, it was mostly chatbots, more about providing information. Now, to your point, AI agents are a lot more autonomous, right? Two, and looking ahead into the next couple of years, we're actually tackling other problems, such as we're moving more from AI agents into agentic AI. We're looking more in terms of AI agents being more proactive, right? Actually training new models as the scenario is required. And some of the biggest challenges that we see is not just AI agent adoption, but actually how the intricacies of how your human workforce can actually work with AI, right? From an organizational behavioral design perspective, right? Having agents not as assistants, but agents as almost equal workers within your team, right? In some cases, even taking a lead in terms of creating tasks and assigning tasks to a human workforce. So this is a very, very fast evolving field. And that's, I think, part of what's exciting about it.
Yeah. And when we were talking backstage, you've just launched recently something at PatSnap, right? Maybe you want to talk about and give a sort of a preview of what you have done recently.
Sure, yeah. So PatSnap's AI journey actually started as early as 2014, so the last generation of AI. Natural language processing, the computer vision, because in terms of processing all the R&D data, like the patents, the journals, there's a lot of images, a lot of text. So we used a lot of that. Essentially, everything we did is to help customers to smartly find what they need. And recently, as Tarun mentioned, actually just last month, we launched our first series of AI agents to solve specific tasks, to complete the mini workflow along the R&D value chain. So if you think about the research and development value chain, the upstream will be the competitive landscape. Understand how technology is evolving, where should we invest our R&D dollars. And then it will be the idea generation. And then it will be experimentation, and finally it's go to market. At every stage, there are many, many tasks that our users are trying to tackle. So we launched a series of AI agents to solve a few highest frequency scenarios. For example, in the idea generation phase, it's very common for a company to have a workshop brainstorming here's a technology challenge. Let's all come together from different backgrounds and think about innovative solution to this. What PatSnap AI agent does today is we can give you an AI agent where you can key in the challenge you're trying to tackle, and through rounds of conversation, we're trying to phrase the challenge and then suggest a couple of very innovative solutions. And all this is built on top of mining, processing millions and millions of technology, data, information, all the way to the 18th century. because very often innovation happens at the cross-disciplinary between different industries, between different tech fields, which is very difficult for human beings to do, but it's quite easy for AI to do. So idea generation agent is one of the agent that we launched. Another very interesting one is the patent novelty search agent. So for example, a big company like Nokia, who have a giant portfolio of patents, that 10,000 or so patents come from millions of ideas. Not every idea is a good idea, which worth a company's investment to make it into a patent, into making a product. So from the millions of ideas to the 10,000 patents, there is a evaluation process. So step one is we call novelty search. Basically, when the engineering think I have a brilliant idea, is it really a brilliant idea? So what our AI agent does is once the engineer input their idea in a very layman terms, the system will be able to run the idea, run through our giant database and give an evaluation on the novelty score of this particular idea. And we'll also highlight all the historical, we call prior art, so basically existing technologies, existing ideas that are similar to this idea. We'll highlight the parts that might cover, overlap with this idea. And finally, we'll say, this is a novel idea. It's pretty much patentable. You can hand it over to the patent department. Or no, actually, this and that idea already been invented by someone else many years ago, and you shouldn't waste time and energy building on this. You should go refine this idea. So this basically saves 80% of the time, at least. In the past, we'll take a very experienced person at least 1 or 2 days to complete this task. Now it's done within a few minutes. And to Jason's point, also we're at the stage of, I think we're at kind of like transition from, if you take the autonomous driving as an analogy, from L3 to L4, L5. We're not at L5 yet. So the customers want to have a say, they want to have a control. So it's kind of like, yes, it's AI agent, but somewhere from between the system and agent. The customer don't want you to just give an answer or conclusion, but they also want to interfere through every step of this novelty search, which can be 7, 8 steps along the way. But eventually, without any interaction with the customer, the agent can complete the task, but also allow a certain level of interaction.
Yeah. I mean, I'm tempted to ask in your business, or Jason, in the portfolio of companies where you have seen adoption of AI and AI agents, what has been the KPIs around productivity or efficiency or cost or efficient use of capital? Any learnings from some of these AI deployments in your portfolio or in your company's financial metric? Because at the end of the day, we are all trying to also hit the financial metrics and the profitability, and we have obligation to stakeholders. Have you measured over time how is AI impacting the bottom line or the top line or the efficiency of the companies as you have deployed from L1 to L2 to L3, L4? Any reflections on that?
Yeah, maybe I can talk a little bit that. Because we are a public company, so I can only talk about the metrics that is disclosed, but I can just qualitatively describe how we do it. So as an AI agent believer, so everything we do for the last 12 years is pretty much all about AI agents. Just in different type of technology, in early day machine learning and deep learning, now a lot of them is done by LLM and Gen AI technologies, or multi-agents like a collaboration of multiple LLM and Gen AI technologies. And let me just give a few examples. And in operationally, we have deployed in many aspects using AI agent. For example, in our HR department, since that we have employee across more than 30 countries and speak different language, and a lot of time they are in different time zone. And having an HR team that always answer employees' question and also have help them on board is very difficult. So we have HR bots helping them to do everything, and at the same time, for example, they want to apply leave and also they have questions. We should just use AI agent as assistant to our employees.
Yeah.
And in this year, we try to have our AI agent to train and also be assistant for all of our employees. Since that we operate in so many markets, more than 20 markets with customers in presence, a lot of times that when we hire commercial people from different with great experience, but then necessarily have a very deep understanding of AI. And sometimes we also want them to be very knowledgeable about AI capabilities. Our AI training agent becomes super important, almost like pre-sales for every single sales.
It's almost like essential for your international expansion.
It's so essential. Whenever we have a multiple layers, so whenever our employee have questions, they ask about our training bots first, and then they will answer all question, prepare a document, even prepare a presentation to present to a customer first. And that actually enhances productivity a lot. And I would say that in the last 12 months, we have fully deployed the productivity level and a degree at which commercial role ramp up across time has dramatically improved. Because they don't have to wait for another 12 hours when the counterpart, and they don't have to wait for their question in the queue to be answered. They can a lot of questions can be addressed by our QA bots. That's just a few examples. And now nowadays, when we also have a end-to-end product development just done by AI. So we are now trying. This is also public information. We are trying to increase the percentage of which, that's from reading the design document provided by product manager up to QA, all done by AI.
Generating the code.
Not even the compiler, but actually end-to-end, all developed by AI. And then try to increase the percentage of that. That actually also increase the productivity and also feature shipping. Just use one example in our product meeting as one example. A lot of time, when we don't have enough staff develop certain features, then we will actually list out some features and have some of them assigned to AI to develop.
Thank you. I mean, again, I hope you captured some of that across time zone, across languages, across geographies. You have HR employees, you have customers. I mean, try and imagine doing everything manual, having global teams, working across. I mean, those days are gone. I mean, you just cannot do the business like Chi mentioned. I want to quickly do some rapid fire if you like, because I see only type. By the way, we have translators who are helping translate. So in case we are going too fast, we apologize for that. We'll try to be more mindful. Just very briefly, and again, I don't know culturally here whether it is acceptable or not, or have you seen job advertisements of AI workers? Has that phenomena happening here in the region or where you are doing business? I've seen few ads, at least in Helsinki where I live, where job advertisement says humans should not apply. This is only for AI workers. And I'm just wondering, have you seen that phenomena here? Or have your company have gone out to create a job ad which says explicitly humans should not apply?
I think that's more for advertisement purposes.
More marketing purpose.
Because if it's only AI apply, just build AI. Why would you have to advertise that job?
I think they're trying to do more like a hackathon, let the best AI win.
I see.
Rather than, not everybody has the enough competency to build and maintain and deploy. So they're actually looking for, it's a way to do like a hackathon kind of a thing. Build us a service and we'll pay for that service, or as a perpetual or pay as you go. Has that happening here?
Well, I mean, I think AI fluency and the ability to actually work with AI is becoming much more of a requirement, right, when companies go out to hire, right? But of course, I mean, one of the things with AI agents, and AI agents is a huge field, right? I mean, CAGR is over 40%. We're certainly at the exponential growth curve of AI agents, and I think that's likely to continue for the next 5 years. The idea of how to manage AI, right? When you're inundated with many different AI agents, how do you manage it? How do they work together? You quickly realize that AI agents right now, they're doing a lot of great things, but you still need the human aspect of it, because not all AI agents, as we're going from more of an information-based AI agents into more task-based, like ChatGPT operator. that there's a lot of ecosystem and a lot of tools that are still needed to properly manage it and to properly enable these AI agents to take and actually execute more complicated tasks. So for example, we just invested into an AI browser company, which allows AI agents to use headless browsers to be able to execute tasks and interact with web pages, right? So there's a lot of pieces that are still missing that for now, right, require human workers to be able to read tasks and to build the tools around which, the environment around which AI agent could be efficient and effective.
Yeah. Anything
think-
else?
Yeah, in terms of how companies are encouraging the adoption of AI agent within the company, maybe it's hackathon style or some other style. I do agree that across the organization, different departments, different functions have a different stage of AI adoption. Like for example, we have 1,100 employees. The research team, the engineering team is the first one to adopt. Everyone's using Cursor. And then will be the sales team, because those are the heavily, a lot of headcounts in those departments. But some other department, maybe the backend, maybe they're a little bit laggard. So we did entertain the idea of start somewhat a hackathon to encourage, because a lot of this is bottom up. We see some employees using AI agent very, very smartly. So one interesting example, one of our very tenured employee recently moved to Singapore from China office. So he want to sell to the Korean market. So back to the expansion. So nothing down like how we did it for Japan. He just bought a Samsung phone, which have embedded English to Korean translation. And he did some online searching and found some people willing to talk. So he talked to Korean guy in English, and the other person on the other end hearing it translated to in Korean. Well, of course, there was a 3 seconds delay, but they still managed to conduct conversation, and finally he closed the deal.
Wow.
So we didn't have any operation in Korea. So that kind of behavior is very much bottom up. He needs to hit his KPI. He
Right.
needs to resourcefully looking for AI agent that helps him.
Yeah.
So we did entertain the idea, how about we run kind of a hackathon
Right.
to allow all these ideas emerging from bottom up, right?
Yeah.
And reward employees who share this tool so that as an organization, our productivity will all increase by adopting some of these best practices.
Yeah. It's like necessity is mother of all invention, right? I mean, once you then figure it out. Is there resistance you see where people are resisting that no, they can see their maybe job getting lost or their friend's job getting lost as a result of this AI, agentic, AI adoption and all? Is there resistance where people are, just not willing to?
And for us, because we are super biased toward the agent world, so I believe that everything in the future, table or chairs and even the bottle of water will be agents. Just a matter of time, and also how fast we can lower the cost of the computations. And so we tell basically if you feel resistant to those new technology, then you end up in the wrong place in our company. And in our company, we have made a very clear goal that within 18 months, all of our daily tasks, 50% have to be done by AI, 50%. And then you have to also create another 50% of the time to even more strategic value work. So all of us have to do it. So we have a very clear KPI since 6 months ago. And in fact, everyone in our company, to a certain extent, a lot of work is already done by AI. And when every job opening, when we come out, we always carefully review that next to 2-3 years. Luckily, we have a lot of AI scientists can provide predictions. That that part of job, whether will be replaced by AI very soon. If it is so, then we no longer open up, even we need that for 1 to 2 years. So I think the job market is in a very fast changing, but also give everyone a chance. When you are able to manage AI agent well, you become a supervisor yourself. Instead of supervising human being, you supervise agents.
Yeah.
If you are technically able to manage the coding agent very well, engineer, you can manage the coding agent very well, you become tech lead. And like the platform we launched today, basically the concept is, actually that was a very interesting example. I think 6 months ago, when we did due diligence in that French company we eventually acquired, I found one thing so interesting because we need some design task from the company. They send an intern, have no design background at all, use the software, can generate the best design. So in that company, who can generate best design is that coming from interns. So basically, with the AI tool, everyone is empowered to do it. And the designer become a design director themselves. So basically, you can level up your job grade by managing the AI very well.
That's a good one.
That's a future trend.
Yeah, I like that. You can upgrade your job by managing
AI.
and outsourcing the work to the AI agent.
That's right.
Yeah, you don't need to negotiate with your manager anymore. You just
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Actually, that's a good bridge to trust. You know, what comes to your mind when you're thinking of AI agent and trusting the agent to make the decision? How important it's trust? How to build that trust? How to facilitate that trust? Anybody?
Yeah, for our case, we serve two very different group of buyer persona. One is intellectual property people who are inherently risk averse. They are legal background with technology background. Another part is R&D. So some of them might have the resistance. So back to the point early on, initially we just give them an answer, and customers say, no, we don't feel comfortable. We don't think we're at L5 yet, right? We want to be in the driver's seat. So the way for us to build trust in terms of application layer is really to let the user see step by step how the agent is carrying out the task, just as how a professional human being used to do. And at every step of the way, the user can jump in to say, give feedback to the agent to say, I think this is wrong, please correct this, exclude that. And then the result ultimately generated is the collaboration between the user and the agent. So this is application layer. Another layer, I think all of us, if we're serving enterprise client, it's the security part. That is the topic, that's where we find the most resistance if it comes to the AI agent adoption when we approach enterprise customers. That's a whole topic, but it's every enterprise, a B2B software company have to address that. We have to address that in order to compete with all these giant like Microsoft or OpenAI, because it's a tendency for enterprise buyers to go for the bigger names that's less risky versus a verticalized provider. So the data security piece is something very, very important to build, to enforce that trust.
Yeah. Jason, what about you? Are you seeing greater trend towards, or are you deploying capital to make AI more responsible or ethical, or are you seeing innovation around that, around trust, ethics, responsibility, given the AI adoption, given the energy demands, given security and all of that topics which she mentioned? Are you seeing, with Dian mentioned, are you seeing more and more activity towards that, and from an investor perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. So AI agents has been evolving, playing a much larger role within organizations. And as they play larger roles, of course, they're making more mission critical decisions, and they're actually implementing more critical tasks. And that's a natural progression. Now, AI is not perfect, right? They make mistakes. There's hallucination problems. There's obviously sometimes, right, they do tend to go off the rails a little bit. And for us, that's really what's differentiating when we take a look at a particular company, maybe a company that was a couple years ago. Their level of accountability and responsibility is mainly just providing information, right? Providing information to their customers, saying, hey, look, here's all the information, you make the final decision. Now we're into a situation where you have AI agents actually running the core model. So we made an investment into actually a dating app out here in Asia.
Nice.
It's called OMI, and they're actually now using AI agents and AI itself to do the pairing. So this is sort of the difference between companies that we were seeing a couple years ago into companies that we're seeing now, where they're actually comfortable enough right, with their models to actually deploy that to run their core business, right? And that takes time, right? It takes a lot of readiness preparations. It takes a lot of continual testing. But if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to build AI agents over the next 3 to 5 years, first, love to talk to you. Let me know. Second, the level of accountability that you have with how AI works in your core product flow, right? We're shifting more towards full automation, right?
Perfect. We have less than 1.5 minutes left. I just want to quickly touch on last point. I mean, we have plenty, but there's just one, which is regulation of AI and EU AI Act. What's your view? Is regulation good, bad? Have you experience of EU regulation? I mean, given you're doing business in EU, what's your view on that?
I think regulation is definitely necessary in AI.
Necessary.
It's necessary because there's a trend, especially after AI agents and also multi-agent become a trend. There's a trend that is a lot of companies and developers over-engineering agents. A lot of time you don't necessarily need an agent, but there's an agent. And a lot of time you just need a single agent, you make a multi-agents. So you can think like from a mechanics point of view, in the systems, you introduce a lot of component of uncertainty because those agents, even in the past, AI as a black box doesn't have a great interface. With OpenAI, ChatGPT, now it can actually articulate pretty well. And people actually, they tend to trust people can articulate well. You can think that as a good salespeople or good people a good at presentation. But in a lot of information, accuracy is still yet to verify. And because a lot of uncertainty got injected to the system and how to regulate that and not, how to regulate that and not to a single point of failure is super important.
Perfect. Last, any 10-second, any other comment on regulation? Good, bad?
I think it's necessary, and I will recommend one book for the audience I'm reading now by Dr. Fei-Fei Li, the godmother of computer vision from Stanford. So she's now heading the department or the center of human-centered AI, because the impact of AI is so profound. We must take care of it. Must be very thoughtful about it.
Perfect. We are out of time. We have far more questions, but I'm sure audience has it. You're still around. Thank you. Can I please have a big round of applause for my panel here?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Yes. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to our panelists and our moderator. Let's send them with a big round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you.